Get us going, please.
Hey Dave, how you doing? Yeah, I was reading in Oliver's post game thing that this is the best start for Arkansas since 1982. You were on that team. Just wondering what you think about that.
Yeah, I had no idea. I don't remember 1982 a whole lot. Not that season. Well, yeah, we played. I remember in '82 though. I do remember like over spring break, we played like 2 games a day for like 5 days straight. 6 days. Teams from all around the area would come in. Some were non-Division One, I think, and we'd probably play 2 7-inning games. We just played a lot of games, and we must have won them all, most of them anyway.
But I don't know, you think that's kind of cool though that you were on that team. That was your only season at Arkansas playing.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. I looked at that record, 27 and something. Pretty good start.
Yeah, I think there were two ties. That was kind of weird. They
Called
played,
having no lights. No lights.
yeah. Not a lot of fans either, as I recall. Girlfriends and parents and some
Yeah.
die. But and then you look at you and Mike Bianco. You guys have played each other so many times. Every year in the regular season, and a lot of times in the postseason, Omaha and Hoover and super regionals and everything. Just kind of what's it been like playing him that many times, and kind of what's that rivalry or relationship or whatever you want to call it like?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't look at it any differently than any other SEC games. It's just that we've run into each other a lot in postseason, it seems like. And then, I mean, our relationship, I think, is probably better than ever. I mean, I have a lot of respect for him and his program and what he's done there. Um, it's the games seem to be pretty interesting usually, and the series are real competitive. And we know each other a little bit as far as maybe the way we think, but again, I don't get all caught up in who we're playing as much as that it's an SEC game. Obviously, maybe the fans do a little more, but I truly believe that at the end of 30, you played 30, and you just got to, they all count the same. But, a lot of respect for Mike. He's done a great job there. And yeah, here we go again.
And then you look at Ole Miss; they're 3-6 in the league. They lost 4 in a row, lost to Memphis. I guess it was last night, and they're struggling. I mean, record wise, kind of what's your take on Ole Miss right now?
Oh, they have good players. It can turn around real quick. I don't know. Haven't played them yet. I'll probably be able to tell you more after we play the 3 games. But we just see a little bit here and there and watch some video and try to figure out how to get them out and how to hit them. But I can't really comment on them.
Okay, I might have a couple more if it comes back around. Thanks, Dave.
Okay.
Ellis.
Yeah, Coach, going off Bob's question a little bit, like with your team, given how you guys played last weekend and given how Ole Miss is coming off a rough weekend at home, is it even a thing where you have to kind of remind them that you can't overlook anyone in the SEC, or do they just kind of know that everyone they're playing at this point is good?
Well, I feel like so far they don't. There's no looking at the record and saying, oh, they're this or they're that. We should be fine. If you do that, you're going to find yourself behind real quick. You hope the mindset is, this is another SEC series and let's go find a way to win game 1. Because if you don't start thinking that immediately, you wait till game day or after the first pitch or two, sometimes that's too late. But so far, so good on that. I feel like they show up and they know what they need to do. They need to play well, pitch well, and field. So if you do that, you got a chance.
Last weekend, you guys worked a ton of walks against LSU, and I think they now lead the SEC in walks, and Ole Miss is kind of up there as well. Not that you're wanting to expect opponents to walk you, but how important do you think that is of just the patient approach you guys have displayed these last few weeks?
Yeah, I think we've had a really good approach. Obviously, like you said, it's patient, but there's just a lot of fouling off pitches and fighting at the plate. Sometimes it's not necessarily that they're 4 and 5 pitch walks. They're 6 and 7 and 8 pitch walks with a lot of fighting going on, fouling pitches off. And, that's how you can score in this league. I could say all the time, it's hard to get 3 hits in 1 inning against the pitchers of this level. So if we can take a walk or get hit by a pitch, it gives you a little opportunity to score, and we've done that.
Dave, I wanted to ask you about something you said at the Swatters Club the other day about how you've given your team the take sign more this year than ever before. I'm just curious why is that?
Well, number one, it's a little easier with all these electronic devices. It's a little easier to just pop they look at it and you put take instead of having to give a sign. But really more than that, it's just the kind of team we are. We're not in the top 3 or 4 in home runs, and we pitch and field, and we try to create some innings a little bit more and maybe a little more timely hitting. Some of the teams in the past, I don't want to take the bat out of their hand 2-0 because that might be the best pitch they get. Maybe with some of the guys in our lineup this year, it's more of an on-base thing than the chance of them, getting a ball 3 and is maybe better than them hitting a little higher than them hitting a 2-0 pitch out of the park. They may line out or get into it. And so it's more of a philosophy with this team. Maybe I'm not saying there's a few guys I don't give them the take too much, but there's some guys that I will if you see some things. Example, coming off a walk, first pitch, maybe I'll have them take, and then I trust them more with 2 strikes, maybe than I did other teams, so to speak, because these guys have shown a knack to be able to hit with 2 strikes pretty well.
And also, you've talked quite a bit this year to how difficult it is to figure out the 27-man roster each weekend. I'm curious what that process looks like. Do you lock yourself in a room with Coach Hobbs and Coach Thompson and just kind of deliberate it, or how do you go about making that roster each week?
Yeah, it varies from week to week, depending on who's feeling good, who's throwing the ball well, maybe match up other team, how many left-handed hitters do they have, how many left-handed pitchers do they have, and vice versa. And we just try to, look into maybe situations that would come up over the 3 games and, what would be our best case scenario to get them out or to get a hit. So that's kind of what you do. So, like I said, it's a compliment for the players on our team that, they're making it hard on us.
Bob, come back around.
Yeah, Dave, just want to double check on the rotation. Same as
Yep.
last week, or any changes?
Yeah, we'll go Smith, Molina, Tiger in that order.
Okay. And then Riley Maddox, I assume he'll start. He was their game 1 starter, and I know he was hurt a lot of last season. Just kind of what's your take on him?
Yeah, just trying to look at as much as we can. I mean, he's good. His numbers in league play are really good. So, yeah, I don't want to say a whole lot, but he's a really talented pitcher. Obviously, he gives them a chance. That's for sure. They have a chance to win every time he's on the mound.
And they've got some pretty good power numbers, like 45 home runs, and Fisher's got 11 home runs, and look at my stats here. Ledge 8 home runs. Just kind of what do you think of their lineup and their power numbers?
Yeah, they can hurt you real quick. If you give them free passes, they can hit the ball over your head a lot. And got a couple guys that run real well. They've got some options on the bench. They want to pinch hit or bring in a lefty or so to hit. So they, they're hitting almost 280 as a team. It's week to week. You just got to go do what you do as a team. It's nice to know what the other teams are doing, but we just try to focus on what we can do.
And then, every time you're winning at home, you're extending that Baum Walker streak at home. Just, I guess somebody's going to beat you again at some point. But just what have you thought about this streak you all are on at home?
Yeah, it's great. We play pretty well at home, and we played in some cold weather and some great weather, a little in between. But yeah, we usually play pretty well here, and Yeah, just proud of them. You know, sometimes when you play at home or you play at home a lot, guys get a little complacent, but our guys haven't done that. They just go out and play hard, and it's paid off for us.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Dudley, you got anything?
Just the midweek games, y'all are playing them and winning. Just talk about being successful in those midweek games and how important it is to get those guys in.
Yeah, midweeks are, you know, some teams are maybe start to feel like, man, I wish we didn't have a game this week, or well, we could use a little bit of rest. But we don't feel that way here. We look forward to them because there's always 3 or 4 offensive guys that they need to hit. Some of the guys that start all the time, they need to get it going a little bit, catch up, whatever. And then on the mound, I mean, there's guys that need to get out there and pitch. And, you know, we're definitely going to be challenged with the midweek games coming up. You know, here in April, we've got 2 next week on a Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we travel. You know, so then we come back, and the next week we're going to play. After that, play 2 more in the midweeks, and then at the end of the month we have 2 midweek games. So there's going to be some 5-game weeks where we're going to use a lot of pitching. A lot of guys are going to get to play, and you know, you're going to find out a little bit about your depth. And so the midweek games are going to be huge for development. Obviously you want to win as many as you can, but some guys need to get in there and show us what they can do.
I guess Holtz probably one of those, even though he's had success before, he had the opportunity to get a few at bats yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, he's done well, especially in the midweek games, and you know, it's been good enough. I mean, that's been a tough call at third base. You know, what you get from Jared Sprague-Lott is, like I said, he's really good defender. Started 3 double plays this past weekend and made a couple other really nice plays. And sometimes he makes them look easy, but he's got those long arms and legs, and he covers more ground than you really think. And you know, but Holtz played well, swung the bat well yesterday, got an infield hit, and then he also singled up the middle off the lefty. And he's definitely a really good option to play.
Thanks.
Ellis, Hutch, any final words?
Yeah, Coach, real quick on Brady Tiger. I felt like his stuff was better last week, but still not like a peak Brady Tiger outing. I think he only threw 68 pitches or something like that. Do you think the lighter workload the last couple weeks and now facing an opponent that he should be pretty motivated to face, do you think this might be a good chance to get him back on track per se?
Well, I hope so. You know, gave him, like you said, rest, and then he gave him an extra day's rest, and then didn't throw a lot of pitches last weekend because he was, you know, it wasn't his best outing, but stuff was good. And then, you know, then going again, game 3 gets again a little bit more rest, and you know, then we can make some decisions after this weekend because it starts to flip back to Friday, Saturday, Sunday if we want to keep it the same or go left, right, left, or whatever. But yeah, I mean, Brady, I don't think it matters to Brady who the other team is. He's motivated to do well, so I don't think the motivation thing's an issue at all. It's just about getting a couple things straightened up, and like you said, maybe a little bit of rest, and hopefully he'll have a really good outing for us.
Bob, last one.
Yeah, Dave, I forgot to ask, I jotted down, I think Ole Miss is 37 steals and 41 attempts. So that's obviously a high percentage. Well, what's your take on their running game, and how important is it? Obviously, you want to keep guys off base in the first place, but if they do get on, how do you feel about trying to control their running game?
Yeah, you know, you look at the numbers. I mean, and we haven't run a whole lot. We've probably tried maybe 30 times. So they've only run maybe 10 or 15 more times than we have. So it's not like it's a huge part of their game, but what they do is they just pick and choose. And if you fall asleep on them or you're not paying attention, you know, they're going to take a base on you, and they have the ability to do that. You know, if they had 80 steals and 85 attempts, and that'd be major concern. It's definitely a concern. We do have some left-handed pitchers that can slow that down, and Tiger's, you know, got a really good move, and he's fairly quick to the plate. So, and our catchers throw accurate. So, you know, it's something that we talk about, and we actually go over those and already have looked at those numbers this morning. So, Yeah, I mean, that's just another weapon that you have on offense if you can steal a base when you need one.
Thanks.
All right, coach, thanks for the time.
Okay.